Okay, so I wanted to go over this. It kind of, where was it? It probably popped up on, it popped up onto a Discord, of course. So, how to criticize computer scientists or avoid ineffective deprecation and making insults more pointed. So, it's a short essay on how to insult your computer science people. In recent exchanges, members of the faculty have tried in vain to attack other computer scientists and disparage their work. Quite frankly, I find the results embarrassing. Instead of cutting the opponent down, many of the remarks have been laughably innocuous. Sometimes something must be done about it, because any outsider who hears such blather will think less of our department. No group can hold the respect of others unless its members can deal a devastating verbal blow at will. This short essay is an effort to help faculty make their remarks more pointed and help avoid wimpy vindictives. It explains how to insult CS research, shows where to find the Achilles heel in any project, and illustrates how one can attack a researcher. So this is important because this is also giving you tools to attack people and their stupid, dumb theories. Finding better words for it, but anyway, for lack of using less, for sake of using fewer curse words, the two basic types of research, or most lousy insults arise from simple misimpression that all researchers agree on the overall aims of CS research. They do not. In particular, CS has inherited two quite opposite approaches from roots in mathematics and engineering. Researchers who follow the mathematical paradigm are called theorists, and include anyone working in an area that has the term analysis, evaluation, algorithms, or theory in the title. Researchers who follow the engineering paradigm are called experimentalists, including most people working in areas that have the term experimental, systems, compiler, network, or database in the title. Complex theory and simple systems. We can do this. Knowing the tradition from which a researcher comes provides the basis for a well-aimed insult. Theorists favor sophistication. Like mathematicians, theorists in computer science take the greatest pride in knowing and using the most sophisticated mathematics to solve problems. For example, theorists will light up when telling you that they have discovered how an obscure theorem from geometry can be used in the analysis of a computer algorithm. Theorists focus on mathematical analysis and asymptotic behavior of computation. They take pride in the beauty of equations and don't worry about constants. Although they usually imply that their results are relevant to real computers, they secretly dream about impressing mathematicians. So, all I can see is that, yes, they say that this has real results for real computers, but really the aim is to impress other mathematicians and show, look, I took your thing and used it in computers. I don't see how that gets any women, but anyway. Experimentalists favor simplicity. Like engineers, systems researchers take pride in being able to invent the simplest system that offers a given level of functionality. For example, systems researchers will light up when telling you that they have constructed a system that is twice as fast, half the size, and more powerful than its predecessor. Experimentalists focus on the performance of real computer systems. They take pride in the beauty of their code and worry about constants. Although they usually imply their results can extend beyond real computers, they secretly dream of filing patents that apply to extant hardware. This is the idea of my code works in 2 seconds on a Game Boy, because it's that efficient, unlike yours, which takes 10 seconds on a gaming PC. Cat, I'm going to be cute. I don't know what's wrong with you. The insult. Knowing that CS can be divided into 2 basic groups helps immensely when criticizing someone. There are 2 basic rules. Identify the type of researcher and issue an insult for that type. Avoid saying anything that inadvertently compliments them. If performed well, an insult will not only stun the researcher, who will be shocked to learn that not everyone agrees with his or her basic value system, but will also intimidate others in the audience. Once you have your researcher stunned from your magnificence, and have also shown the audience that they are dumb, you have won. This is, in essence, a debate. It is not to win the other person over, but it is to win the audience over and to show that the presenter is, in fact, an idiot. So, identifying a type. Identifying the type of a researcher is usually easy and does not require strong technical background or real thinking. It can be done using keyword matching according to the following list. So what this tells me is that you can identify the type of researcher using, if you were to train an AI, you could use that AI, or language model rather, to identify the type of researcher you are dealing with. Detecting theory. You can tell someone is a theorist because they slip one or more of the following keyword phrases into lectures. In technical conversations: theorem, lemma, proof, axiom, polynomial time, logarithmic, semantics, numerical, complexity, non-deterministic, or non-determinism. And for large enough n. They write lots of equations, brag about knocking off the extra log factor, often end their lecture with an uppercase O followed by a mathematical expression enclosed in parentheses. You can also recognize a theorist because they take forever to prove something that may seem quite obvious. I once sat through an hour lecture where someone proved that after a computer executed an assignment statement that put the integer 1 into variable x, the value in x was 1. How does it take an hour to state that? You've allotted x to this address, and you've put 1 into that address. Done. X is 1. Therefore, done. The bits in that address say 1. 5 minutes. It's all electricity. You just gave it instructions and said, make this electrical portion 1. Turn it on. Turn this on. That off, that off, that off, that off, that off. Yeah. Oh, and let's make that one on to make sure that we know that what it kind of thing it is. Anyway, detecting systems. An experimentalist will slip one or more of the following keywords in phrases into lectures and technical conversations: architecture, memory, CPU, sometimes abbreviated CISC or RISC, I/O or bus, network, interface, virtual or compiler, OS or system, distributed program or code, and binary. They talk about building programs and running the resulting system on real computer systems. They refer to companies and products and use acronyms liberally. Their lectures often end with a graph or chart of measured system performance. You can also recognize an experimentalist because they describe in excruciating detail how they set up an experiment to measure a certain value, even if the measurement produced exactly the expected results. I once sat through an hour lecture where someone carefully explained how they used 3 computer systems to measure network traffic, when their whole point was simply to show that the network was not the cause of the problem they were investigating. I didn't know lectures were story time. Bro, I came here to, not sit through story time. I came here to learn. Thanks for spending an hour talking about, how the network was not the problem. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Forming an insult. The key to a good insult lies in attacking whatever the researcher holds most dear and avoiding whatever the researcher does not care about. Thus, an insult lobbed at a theorist should focus on a lack of sophisticated mathematics, such as the following. Despite all the equations, it seems to me that your work didn't require any real mathematical sophistication. Did I miss something? This is an especially good ploy if you observe others struggling to understand the talk because they will not want to admit to that after you imply it was easy. Isn't this just a straightforward extension of an old result by Hartmanis? Not even Hartmanis remembers all of the theorems Hartmanis proved, but everyone else will assume you remember something they've forgotten. Am I missing something here? Can you identify any deep mathematical content in this work? Once again, audience members who found the talk difficult to understand will be unwilling to admit it. Bruh, what's going on here? So yeah, whatever the researcher holds dear, and so you're basically going like, I don't get it. Like, you went through this whole, what is this? You went through this whole mathematical circle just to come back to 1 + 1 = 2. So, if I take 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and I do a mathematical thing with another 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, then all it becomes is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Big whoop. In contrast, an insult lobbed at an experimentalist should imply the techniques were used in previous systems or that the work isn't practical, such as, wasn't all this done years ago at Xerox PARC? No one remembers what was really done at PARC, but everyone else will assume you remember something they don't. Have you tested this on the chip Intel got running last week in their lab? No one knows what chip Intel got running last week, but everyone will assume you do. Am I missing something? Isn't it obvious that there's a bottleneck in the system that prevents scaling to arbitrary size? This is safe because there's a bottleneck in every system that prevents arbitrary scaling. So what I like about this one is, wasn't this one done years ago at Xerox PARC? Is the fact that sometimes you get people that tout, hey, I've got this really cool thing that, does this cool thing. And it's like, wasn't this thing done years ago? You're just rebuilding like a new system. It's like, I made a computer that runs off of wires. It's like, yeah, they used that on the Apollo missions. It's called rope core memory. It's programming for women, quite literally. Okay? Anyway. How to avoid having an insult backfire on you. A misplaced insult can backfire, turning into an embarrassment for the attacker and a victory for the intended attackee. To avoid such occurrences, remember the following. Never attempt to attack theoretical work as not considering constants, as unrelated to computer systems or as requiring too much sophisticated mathematics. The intended victim is likely to smile and thank you for the flattery. Never attempt to attack a system as too small, too simple, or lacking sophisticated mathematics. Again, the intended victim is likely to smile and thank you for the flattery. Never attempt to attack systems work simply by saying that it's so simple and obvious that you could have done it. For years, people said that about Unix and the TCP/IP protocols. In fact, this is merely an extension of a ploy used by children on Playground. Oh yeah, I could have done that if I wanted to. Don't try using it or someone will tell you to grow up. So again, don't go to like Playground antics. Be more adult-like in your insults and make them feel it, you know. Attacking crossover work. Although rare, a few researchers include both theoretical and experimental work in the same project. Insulting such combinations can be tricky, because a researcher can escape unscathed by pointing to one part of their work or the other as the answer. You can try to attack both parts simultaneously. Note that the systems aspect of the project seems quite complex. Do you think the cause of the convoluted implementation can be attributed to the more or less simplistic mathematical analysis you used? However, a clever insult can avoid talking about the work by suggesting sinister reasons for the paradigm shift. I noticed that you did something unusual by combining both theory and experiment. Did you decide to try a second approach because you had insufficient results from the first? You seem to have a little theory and a little experimental work combined into one project. Isn't it true that if you had sufficiently strong contribution in one or the other, you would have lectured about them separately? Finally, I certainly hope faculty will take this essay to heart and sharpen their insulting skills. In the future, please make all your thrusts count. Be a fine swordsman in the art of insults. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description, Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.